Hello everyone! Have you got washi tape to use? Well, boy have I got some great card making techniques today using washi tape, as well as a bonus card at the end that uses some medium-sized paper scraps, coordinating paper scraps, to make a great card sketch. Let's get started. For card number one, we're going to start with, I have a pre-folded red card base and then a panel that is cut just shy. This is an A2 standard size card. The panel is 4 by 5 1/4. We will glue that down in just a moment. We're also going to use my favorite of the washi tapes from this box, this month's Simon Says, well, last month's rather, because we're already into May, and it's the red one. And we are going to be using a washi technique that is pretty simple with just the one. And I'll need another panel of the matching red. This one is 3 3/4 by 5. And finally, we'll need a panel of white that's 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. This is the one we're going to put the washi on. So we can go ahead and put our white card base down. And you can also do a variation on this card if you wanted to. You could just do the washi on this one. Now you'd probably, if you want to do the easier way I'm doing, you might want to just lay the washi out now and wrap it around. Looks like I got some ink on there, which I might actually want to get off of there. Of course, it's on the very edge, but I used my sand eraser and pretty well did that. It's not going to be so noticeable because it's going to be in the bottom of my corner here. And then I'm going to set this panel aside and work on this panel. I'm going to use some repositionable adhesive on the back of this so that it'll stay put while I'm trying to lay this down, because I want it to be straight. Let's see, and I want to leave, what is that, like 1/8 of an inch at the top. And it's a little bit long on that side, but I could trim that off, or I could redo these, I don't know, but let's see. For right now, we are going to just press these onto the back and then glue it on to this card base here. Now, I have another one that I did. I think I used a little bit more space there, and I'm going to use that one on the back here. So now I'm going to put this on here. With the one I just made on camera, I think I'm going to trim the top down a little, but so you don't have to wait for me to do that. Here we have this. This is how it looks, and I'm going with a multi-layered approach here, so I can put this one down here. I really loved the red and the strawberries and different things on this washi, and so my red card and the white, that's just making it pop. Now if you wanted to add some fun dimension, you could do that underneath here. I didn't do that with this card because I'm kind of going simple. Now I am going to take some of the stamp set. We're going to use this silhouette butterfly right here, and it's the B1, and I stamped it out, and this one I finally got my dies, coordinating die set, so this one is just an example. It's already punched out, but for this card I think that I want to stamp it on some scrap card because I want to use the stencil. Alright, I got my butterfly here. I'm just going to press it down. Now, because this is pigment ink and I didn't prep this in advance, I'm just going to hit it with some heat to make sure that's not transferring. Looks good. And I'm going to use from a previous Simon Says stamp kit this little cube holder, and this is some Gina K premium dye ink. That might have been from a Simon Says stamp kit too. I have this little brush guy, and I am going to add some color to my butterfly. So that's why I wanted to not use the butterfly that was already cut out, because I want to use the stencil, and then having some extra paper for it to hold on to is helpful. Hopefully this is held down enough. And I'll show you how I did the color. Got this color, get some ink on here. I'm gonna start from this side on the stencil and go in to the butterfly. That way it's kind of like a gradient. So it'll be darkest here at the center of the body of the butterfly and kind of fading out. And actually I really like this stencil. I've never used this kind of coloring stencil before, but yeah, loving it. New thing that came in that April kit, and voila, this is our result. I will clean that later. Let you have a close-up look there. And yeah, I did mention I finally got my dies, that coordinating die set, and I'll show you how well it cuts out. It gives a little white border, but I love it. So I have this butterfly. Let's bring back in the base of our card here, and I put some foam on there to pop it out. And then we also have in the stamp set the tiny butterfly B4, which I have stamped and cut out with my dies. You can fussy cut these, but you know, it's easier with the dies. And they are going to go over here. But we do need a sentiment. So again, I have another scrap of red and then a smaller white rectangle. And I am going to take the sentiment, thinking of you, and go ahead and stamp it on here. So I need this looks like it'll fit it. Yes. I think because I want to get it straight, I'm also going to use my repositionable adhesive so it doesn't move around on me. And look at that, lovely, perfectly inked. And I'm going to move it. And since I've already done this, I have glued it on to the little red piece, and then I can put it right here in the card. I think I am going to put it here on the right, and I'm going to push it to the edge of this red, first red panel here. I want it straight. I kind of want it showing a little bit of this washi and a little bit of that washi, and I like that. I think it looks good. Okay, we got that, and I think I just want this flying off that side of the card. The final touch on this card will be to add my little white butterflies, so that looks like a good spot for them. And we will angle this one kind of flying out that way, maybe just a little further. And then this one can be flying this way. And that's it for card number 1. A great way to use a beautiful pattern of washi tape that you love. Coordinate the background papers and just a couple little focal elements and a sentiment, and you're done. For card number 2 here with the washi, we're going to take the orange washi, the yellow washi, and the kind of green neutral washi. And we are going to just go straight on to the white card base with it. Now we want an angle. We're going to make a little focal point here. So I think I'm going to start with the orange and try to get my angle right. There's no real right, but I want enough room to add a little something. So I think I'm going to, oops, my card's moving. I want like about a 1/4 inch down here. I don't like that. And I want to go more angled. I don't know what that angle is. And that's a little too much. So this looks about right because I just want a little leave room. You see these guys? I want to leave room for just a little bit of bling down here. And what in the world do I have more ink? I don't even know what get rid of that little spot. So, and maybe my desk is dirty. I don't know. I like this wing sticking out here. I'm gonna just push it down, and that way it stays in place with the help of the washi. I guess I can just tear this off here. Next, so we got orange on the bottom. I'm gonna do the green kind of neutrally one. And I'm just gonna go right flush up against it. So it's a lot easier now that I've decided my angle. And actually just gonna lightly press that down, but what I want to stick really well, when you're really sure about where you want it, you can really press this down, maybe burnish it with a bone folder. And finally, we have the yellow version. And that is the beginning. I am going to, since I like how that is, I'm just gonna burnish the part that's on the card. And then I can gently lift this up, open my card, and trim off my excess, because this is the inside of my card, so I don't really want to fold it over this time. And I can save that save my little extra washi pieces for holding dies down and stuff. That's a lovely start to the card. Now, for the sentiment, I thought this little I love you would be just great. And I think I'd like to put it right around here somewhere. And I might as well use the positioner for this one, just in case I don't get a great stamp on my first go round. In this I have, what is this? I think it's Simon Says Stamp Sticky Grid Mat or something, but I just like how that holds things better. I don't know, I don't have as much success with the magnets actually holding my paper and not shifting at all. So that's what I have in here if you're curious. It grabs it. Love it, doesn't move. Okay, got it nice and inked up. Give it a little press. And it's a one and done. I don't think I need to redo that. Grab my... This is really clean and simple and beautiful. Could leave it like that, but I did want to add a little something extra down there. So, I'm gonna go with, it says I love you. So I'm gonna put loved and a green heart. That's a little too much angle there. And a yellow heart. And I think I like that spacing, so I'm going to go ahead and press them down now. And that finishes off card number 2. Super fast, super simple. You can use any combination of washi that you like that goes together. And it turns out pretty nice. I like it. What do you think? For card number 3, yellow and green neutral are back for this card. We're going to use the cardstock, what was this called? Honey? I'm not sure, but it came in the April kit. It's a really beautiful, vivid color, and it looks pretty awesome with the washi tape, in my opinion. So this one also is 3 strips of washi and very simple, but we're going to use only 2 kinds of washi tape. So we're going to start with the one that's more neutral, and I'm actually going to do this sideways because I feel like I'm better at keeping it straight from this angle. But this is the top of the card here, and I might flip it back for the next one, but I kind of want to get about 1/4 inch from the edge. 1/4 inch, and almost all the way down. I could go a little further. Let me see. Plus that wasn't very straight, if you noticed. 1/4 inch. All right. I struggle with straight. I think that's straight. I'm going to press this down, and I'm not pressing this down because I think it's just a little too far, but what I'm going to do is give it a tear here. And I like that kind of angle up that it was looking. So I'm going to do that. And so this middle one, I'm going to do yellow, and I just want it a little bit shorter, but I can line it up right next to it, so it's a little easier. And I kind of think I want to tear a little different angle here. I might be overthinking it, but that's my specialty. And, you know, it's gonna work no matter what. So I am pressing that down, and then finally we're gonna come back in again with what I'm calling the neutral green colored one. And go just a little bit shorter. I'm going to burnish these down because I like it. And then, since this is a panel, I can just flip these onto the back and then glue it onto my card front. I love the little white border here. Pop of whiteness, I guess. And that's obviously a personal choice too. You could also make this cover the full card front. But I think it goes pretty well with my sentiment. And here I am spreading some random ink again. Boy, I'm so glad I have this sand eraser for that kind of stuff. Now, to finish off this card, I think that I'm going to take Sentiment, Thinking of You, and put it down here in the bottom. And then I had stamped this silhouette butterfly and, you know, inked him and did actually, you can kind of see the glitter paste that came in the kit. I did that during my first video. If you haven't seen that with the box opening and the first few cards, check that out. And I have it left over. And I think, I'm not sure if I just showed this whole process or part of it, but this is one of the blooms, and I did the same thing, inked and the paste on top. So I'm just going to grab those, since I already have them, and use them as a focal point, and we're left with something like this. We got to glue it down though, so let's go ahead and do that. Also, I don't know if you can tell the difference. This was the butterfly I fussy cut out before I had the coordinating die. So this one is less than perfect, but it's still got that beautiful handmade charm. And this technique, this washi card technique, is a great starting place for if you have any other kind of dies or focal points that you want to use. You could even just like add a couple of these little epoxy stickers along the side or something, and a sentiment, but this is how the card number 3 turns out, and I think it looks pretty great. And it was also super fast. Alright, for the 4th washi style card here, it's going to be a lot more washi. In fact, we're going to use all the colors of the washi. Where's the 5th one? Here we go, I think. And just kind of go for a rainbow effect here. So I've got a panel that is cut to 4 by 5 1/4. This is my card base here. And we're going to start with red in this corner and try to keep, let's see, I want a little more pop of red, so I'm just going to go a little further down than it is. And I think I'm just going to have a little tiny corner there. And try, what was I going to say? I was going to say, try to keep like 1/8 of an inch spacing and see how far along we get with that. Got the washi tape on. I'm going to give it a good burnish on just the cardstock portion, the panel portion. Try to get it nice and well adhered. And then I'm going to take a corner and very carefully, you could use a palette knife if you need extra help or something to slip under there, but gently I'm peeling it up from my desk surface. And since this panel is going to be glued down, I'm just going to fold the edges over. Nice and easy. And we have a little bit of an overhang. Just trim those flush. No worries, that's what the back looks like. And that's what our panel looks like. And we can glue it down to, oh no, we don't glue it down yet. I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead. We can glue it down, but I was gonna do something crazy with this one. Yeah, something a little different. I have a rectangle die. This one cuts out the triangle and it has stitching on both the cut part and the piece that it cuts out. So I'm gonna try to find the center, just eyeballing it. That looks pretty close. Press that down. I will run it through my die cut to punch it out. But yes, I've already done it here. And you get something like this. Now I've glued down this frame to my card base. And then I have this piece, and you could, if you wanted to add dimension, put it up on foam tape to separate it from the background here. But I'm going to take a scrap of white card. So I didn't actually need this stitching because I'm going to end up covering it up. But it's cute if you do use it. And I can't tell if this is completely straight. It looks a little wonky, but maybe I'll have to check that. I like it. So I'm going to glue this down onto here and then onto there. Okay, we got that, and we're just going to sort of center it there and place it down. It's funny because normally I am all about all the dimension and everything, and for some reason I'm going kind of flat on these cards, but I think that's good. And there's a lot going on with this card with all the colors, the different washi, and you can do this with just 2 kinds of washi and just repeat, or any number. Or, you know, like a rainbow of different colors like I'm doing here. And it's not a complete rainbow because we don't have blue and we don't have purple, but I'm going in sort of what I think is rainbow order. Now, I had some watercolor paper. Alright, I found some watercolor paper, I think. I just had this in a little file, so I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure which one it is. And then I've got all kinds of beautiful colors here, and I have some Zig clean color markers. I liked how these looked. And let's grab some purple, maybe a little more purple, and maybe another yellow and a green. Okay. I liked how these worked with the watercolor paper and just the image. So let me see if I can actually get this all in frame. Maybe we'll zoom out a little. Just ignore the mess, please. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, let's start with the stems, since that hopefully will be easier. And hopefully I don't get too much. I'm just coloring onto the stamp here all the things that I want to be green. It's hard to see a little bit, but you know, you get, with a stamp positioner, you get 2 chances. Give it a little breath to keep it moist. Let's see what we got. It looks okay. It looks pretty good. I think I'm missing, what is this happening here? I don't know. But we can come back if we want. Let's go with some yellow for these blooms. Am I even in frame here? It's hard to say. And actually I'm going to do like a darker yellow in the center. That's the cool thing about these markers, is you can add some variation. Ooh, that's nice and bright. Oh yeah, it's looking nice. I need a little more on the edge of this guy. Got it a little better. And then the purple one I liked, and this is way out of frame here. You see my light there too. I'm going to start with the lighter purple. And these guys, I'm going to do purple right there. Let's do all of those purple and get a lot of good ink on there. And then I'm going to just put some darker purple here and there, maybe at like the base of these ones, and see how that is. And actually I'm going to take a little mister here and because it's watercolor paper, right? So it should be okay. And that's a lot. That was a lot. But you know what? It looks alright. I don't think it looks too bad. These guys could use a little more of the lighter purple. These ones here didn't get very dark. I think it's these two, right? Let's see. It's looking interesting. Now I want to do this big bloom here, and maybe we'll do this one pink also. Let's do pink. And I think I did some yellow in the middle, and you can just like mix these right on here. What do we got there? Not bad, not bad at all. I think I'm just gonna, I don't know why I stuck my hand there. Throw a little more wetness on there and see. These ones I don't want to, just see what happens here. Oh yeah, I like that. I don't know what's happening here. Was there another? Oh, there is. It looks like I missed some green here. So let's try to, oh yeah, that looks better. And I kind of like this like imprecise look here, so I think I'm going to call that good. And since I didn't mention colors, I'll just let you know real quick if you're interested, or you can skip forward. This one is, what is this? Number 503 is Summer Sun. Number 50, yellow. Number 81, light violet. Number 41, light green. Number, what is this? Pink, dark pink. No, oh, number 27, dark pink, and number 80, violet. You can do this with any water-soluble markers, but these are the brush ones, and I think I tried maybe Tombow, but I liked these better. But if you only had Tombow, obviously, Tombow would work better. Or no, I think the one I didn't like as well was, the Pitt pens, the big brush Pitt pens, which I used to use for stamping all the time, but, you know, whatever. This is what worked today. Then I'm gonna go ahead and use my die to cut this out. And actually, before I do that, I'm gonna flip this upside down. I'll just show you and do, where's Happy Birthday? There it is. This is such a celebratory, colorful card. I thought it would make a good birthday card. I am gonna take, I really like how this flower turned out with the bright pink and orange, so I'm gonna take, it's not orange, it's like a yellow, those two colors to do my sentiment, which is Happy Birthday, and I put it on upside down. That was silly. I need room to cut it out. Let's move it over. Oh, don't squish. Alright, so I'm just going to color like the whole top half-ish in the Summer Sun color, not being too particular. And again, it's watercolor paper. I've got the stamp positioner thing here helping me, so I get a second chance, and I'm going and doing the bottom with the dark pink and just really messy here. I think it's fast enough that I can get it all on. And it's a bit splotchy, but I like it. And I think maybe we'll just see if just wetting it can make it combine a little better. Oh yeah, I like that look. It's seeping out. It's got like a watercolor look. I'm going to leave it alone like that and cut it out to use. Bringing in the one I did earlier, not on camera, is this one. I had a weird, I don't know what happened there. It's kind of brown, but it's okay. Look at this, how beautiful the die cuts it out. I just love that. Now, if I didn't have the die, I would have just cut around the edge for this one, but I did get the die, so I'm happy to use it. And you can see I went with a lot of dimensions, so that'll take a minute to get off. Whew, I don't even know. I think that was longer than a minute, and this, oh, it's quite beautiful. I think it's a stunner. And then here is the sentiment, Happy Birthday, again. And I think this looks great right down here in the bottom right. You could add sparkle with paste or a little bling here and there, but I am going to, what happened here? One of my, there we go. I'm going to leave it just like this for card number 4. a beautiful, colorful, happy, vibrant, springish birthday card, and I think it's great. Alright, I have a bonus card for you today that is more of a scrap busting. It's not washi, but I had a lot of scraps still of the beautiful paper from the April kit. I love this side too, but I'm going to use the stripes. And I love how the dies cut these guys out. So with this one I could have added some color, and I might do that in a second version, or this one I'm going with the neutral kind of yellow theme. So standard card base, let's move that aside, and this little rectangle here, this is a card sketch I've used many times. It's 1.5 inches, and I believe it's 5 1/4, yes, 5 1/4 long, and this one goes on the left side of the card. This card sketch is a great way to use leftover bits from matching or coordinating card set. Let me make sure I have enough room, because I think I was limited in my size. Uh-oh. Scoot over a little. Okay, it wants to be there. That's where it's going to be. And this little rectangle here measures 2 1/4 by 3 3/8, is that? Just under 3 1/2. So I think this was the one that I was limited in size on. Now if your pieces are just shy of these dimensions, another way you can make this work is with a coordinating colored cardstock and just frame each of them. Or have like a panel that is a coordinating cardstock that they go onto, so you can kind of, you know, adjust little dimensions that way. And then here's this lovely little scrap. It's from the same one here, so it coordinates beautifully. Oh, and I forgot to mention, this one measures 2 1/4 by 1 7/8, I think that's what this was. And I like to round this corner. You could round these corners, that corner, or any corner, but I don't know, I just like to do that in this version of this card. Now we had this piece, and I was thinking, because this has kind of a natural look, I was going to try to incorporate this twine somehow. I think maybe the glue will help. Okay, I got a lot of glue there. I'm going to go for a coordination of all 3 rectangles by placing it in such a way that it's sort of touching all of them. Overhanging, press that down. I hope that this idea with the twine works. I glued it on first, that way I don't have any trouble with it. And I could do a bow. I think I'm just going to do a couple little knots here and let it hang out. That's nice. Okay, and I can ravel, that's the word, unravel a bit if I want a more rustic look. I like that. I think this has a real natural look, the natural element of the twine. And to finish off the card, I thought this little sentiment with sympathy was a good one for this card. And it's kind of hopeful and peaceful, the coloring and the natural. And so I think that would be a comfort to someone who's experiencing a season of loss. So I'm going to place this down in the bottom. And that is one of my favorite ways to use up coordinating scraps. So that's the bonus card number 5 for you. Here's another quick look at all 5 cards today. Hope you enjoyed seeing these ways to use washi and make some fabulous cards, as well as the bonus card that is a great way to use some coordinating scraps. Which one's your favorite card? Thanks again, as always, for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful and creative day. Bye!